Good afternoon. Welcome to the March 3rd meeting of the Phoenix City Council. I will call this formal meeting to order. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio.
Here.
Councilmember Garcia.
Here.
Councilwoman Guardado.
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilwoman Stark.
Here.
Councilman Waring.
Here.
Vice Mayor Williams.
Here.
Mayor Gallego.
Here. Mario Barajas is with us today to provide Spanish interpretation service. Mario, would you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Mario Barajas, as you previously mentioned, and I'll be serving as today's Spanish interpreter. I'm going to take this time now to introduce myself to our Spanish-speaking audience. Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Mario Barajas. Yo seré quien les estará facilitando con la interpretación del español del día de hoy. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mario. Will our city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G 6812 through 6821, S 47299 and 47331 through 47363, and resolutions 21898 through 21900.
Thank you so much. We next move to the boards and commissions portion of our city council meeting. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the mayor and city council boards and commission nominations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please signal nay. Passes unanimously. I will next turn to our city attorney to introduce public comment as a portion of the Phoenix City Council meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public may speak for up to 2 minutes to comment on agenda items to be discussed. Comments must be related to the agenda item and the action being considered by the council. General comments that go beyond the scope of the agenda item must be made in the citizen comment section at the end of the agenda. Speakers must present their comments in a respectful and courteous manner. Profane language and personal attacks on members of the public, council members, or staff are not allowed. A person who violates these rules can lose their opportunity to continue to speak.
Thank you so much. We next move to liquor licenses. The Phoenix City Council advises the state on these items. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
I would move to approve items 3 through 14, noting that item 2 has been withdrawn and the applicant for item 15 has requested the item be continued to March 17, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say nay. Passes unanimously. City Clerk, are we ready for ordinances, resolutions, new business, planning, and zoning?
Yes, Mayor.
Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
I move to approve items 16 through 67, except the following. Items 27, 37, 38, 39, 64, 65, and 66. Item 65 is as revised. Item 67 is requested to be continued to March 17, 2021, and excluding these items for public comment. 29, 36, and 44. And I believe Councilwoman Pastor has comments on item 67.
I do, Vice Mayor. Thank you for acknowledging that. Before voting for the omnibus, I want to make a comment about item 67, which is being continued to March 17th. My office will organize meetings to provide the community an opportunity to express their concerns. However, if the meetings can't be scheduled before March 17th, then I will request to have the item continue to April 7th. With that, I approve the omnibus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
Thank you. We move to item 27, Federal Legislative Representation and Consulting Services. Vice Mayor.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio,
No.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
No.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 7-2.
We next move to item 29, Audiovisual Services for Phoenix City Council meetings. Vice Mayor.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do have one member of the public wishing to address the council. Rebecca has registered to deliver comments in Spanish. Rebecca, the floor is yours.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Me pueden oír?
Sí.
Afternoon. Can you hear me?
Estoy de
señora.
acuerdo con la decisión de continuar usando el modo de comunicación que han usado durante este tiempo de la pandemia. Solo quiero agregar que hay muchas personas en esta ciudad que no hablan inglés o están más cómodos usando sus lenguajes nativos. Ha sido difícil para las personas que hablan español entender cómo pueden participar en estas juntas. Se me parece en mi experiencia que el proceso necesita más atención y que hay cambios que podemos hacer para mejorar el proceso de hablar y dejar comentarios. No hay instrucciones en español para registrar como alguien que habla los dos idiomas. Yo puedo entender y leer las direcciones en inglés, pero hay muchos que no pueden leer en inglés. También tenemos comunidades que no hablan inglés o español y quiero empujar a la ciudad y a este concilio que tratan de incluir a todos en nuestra ciudad. La accesibilidad para todos debe de ser una prioridad, no solo por las personas que hablan diferentes idiomas, sino por las personas que tienen dificultades con su oído o están sordos y necesitan captación. Espero que ustedes vayan a trabajar más duro para asegurar que este proceso será mejor en el futuro, especialmente cuando la única manera de participar es en modos digitales. Gracias.
Mayor?
Should we pause for translation?
Yes, please.
The interpreter would like to request, yes, please. Thank you, Mayor. I'm in agreement to continue with this digital way of listening to the meetings, but I would like to add that there's a lot of us that don't know the English language, and it's difficult for us to understand or participate in these meetings because we just wish that there would be changes in the instructions of how we can participate or comment on these meetings. Me, myself, I know how to read address and I know how to read some things in English, but there's a lot of us that just don't know English. And so I would just like to ask the council if we can try to include a better way of connecting and give priority to all of the community so that we can all understand, and even us that only know one language. So I also would like to request that not only is it a language issue, but also for the hearing impaired. So I would like to request the council to work harder and to implement this and make it easier for us in this digital era.
Thank you, Mario. I'm very impressed with that interpretation. Councilman DeCiccio.
Oh, thank you, man. I was just going to ask that question too. So one of the complaints was that they can't read it and that they can't, we're not interpreting it, but my understanding is this interpreter right now, Mario, is a lot better than the last one that we had. I mean, Michael Nowakowski and I multiple times would say, I think that she got it wrong. So, but he's good. So the question I've got is, I thought we did all these things, and that the interpretations were being done at the same time as we were speaking, and at the same, and that this was being translated in writing as well. So tell me where we're wrong on that. And maybe I should ask that of staff.
I believe a member of our
I thought we were
staff is
doing everything staff.
Mayor, I'll ask the city clerk, Denise Archibald, to respond.
Mayor, members of the council. This is Denise Archibald, the city clerk. I just wanted to mention that we do have a function on the City of Phoenix website that is a translator. And so for most pages, including the city council meetings page, for example, you can click on the top for translate, and then you can pick a language, and then it will translate that page into a different language. And there's several to pick from, and Spanish is one of them. And we also produce other materials in English and Spanish as well, but that is a very good functionality of the website currently.
So that's on the agenda, and then, I'm sorry, Mayor. Go.
Oh, no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mayor, yeah, so that's dealing primarily with the agenda, and I get that. But the concern that she had too is her ability to follow along on these meetings. So are we not doing what we're supposed to be doing on that? It's more of a question I've got maybe for the lady who spoke, because I'm wondering, or actually of staff first. I assume we're doing translations in real time.
Yes, Mayor, and Councilman DeCiccio, we are.
All right, that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman. Councilwoman Guardado.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I guess more of a question, just clarification. Denise, I think I know the answer to this. Because one of the things that the lady just said is that there's no instructions in Spanish, or is there a way where we can make it, because from what I'm understanding, what you said is that they can click on something on the website and it translates everything into Spanish? Or why would she say that?
Councilwoman Guardado, thank you for the question. For instructions, we did create, for example, when we recently went to the e-comments process, a video that was also in Spanish. So we do have several different types of materials out there, written, video, and simultaneous translation for Spanish, and also persons can request ahead of time translation in other languages, and we are able to get live translation simultaneous as well for that. I'm not positive in terms of that. I don't know if we would want to check in with Rebecca to see if there was a specific one that we may need to still work on or adjust.
Yeah, that would be great. I guess, could we put her back on?
Hi, I can respond in English if that's easier. So the concern is that like several community members, and I even had this issue in trying to sign up to speak today, is that there is options to participate in Spanish, and I'm actually listening to the translation in real time because I wanted to make sure that folks that I'm friends with or people that I know I could explain this well enough to them. I think it's the issue is that initially everything is in English and that makes it hard to navigate. And so I guess my concern was just a way to make it easier for all non-English speakers, but because we have such a large Spanish-speaking community, if there was a way, like even when I got the email saying that I had registered to speak, I got that email in English. So if I was a complete only Spanish speaker, I would be getting an email in a language that I don't necessarily understand saying that, yes, I can speak in my native tongue, but I can't understand that email that I'm receiving back, even though I chose that I wanted to speak in Spanish. And so the interpretation is great. I'm listening to it right now. That's not an issue. I think it's just the accessibility and navigation that needs some improvement, and also some clarification on if people are able to speak during the live WebEx meeting. I think a lot of Spanish speakers believe right now that their only option is that they have to call in and can't get into the WebEx meeting, which I think it would be better to say, hey, you can tune into the WebEx meeting live and watch it and dial in and listen to that in Spanish. And then when they're able to speak, then they know that they'll be speaking in real time to the council. So I think it's just small logistical changes like that that could help. But that was just my experience in that even in trying to navigate in Spanish as an English speaker, I was still kind of confused, and I speak both languages and can read both languages. So that's just my comment on that. I think WebEx is great. I just think we could work harder to make it more accessible.
Thank you for that. So with that, Mayor, I mean, I would like to make a recommendation that maybe we could have someone that we could film a video maybe of how to log in, how to register, and maybe having that available for constituents so that they can look at the video. Because even folks that speak English and are fluent in English sometimes have a hard time. So maybe recording a video that people can go look at, how to like step by step follow how to register, might be a good idea.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I think that's a great suggestion, and I think also for folks who register in Spanish, an
Perfect.
email in Spanish seems to make a lot of sense. So some good ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional council comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes, and Mayor, if I could make a quick comment. We've done it on our office page as part of District 8. We've done a tutorial in Spanish, and so we're also willing to work with staff or whoever or can share ours. Thank you. So yes.
Guardado.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor. I apologize. Pastor.
Yes.
Thank you. Stark.
Yes.
Waring.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
Thank you. We next move to item 36, which is the ground lease with American Greyhound Racing. It is a substitute lease that includes some additional enhancements from the original, an exciting property in the gateway of our city, including near our amazing Gateway Community College. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do have 3 members of the public to address the council on this. We will begin with Mark Rodriguez. And Mark will be followed by Kristen Gubser.
Hello, I'm fine, Mark Gallego in the City Council. How are you doing this afternoon? Because I'm doing well as all because of today. I'm excited for this Wednesday City Council meeting and all that other stuff. And because of all the communities and the Phoenix and all that stuff and doing well and all that type of stuff and well in everything that you're going to talk about, item 36, which I am because of that Greyhound thing and all that stuff and all the other people that and all that other stuff and the Gateway community thing or whatever. And you know that I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. I'm well. And also that all that is good to hear from all of you guys and all that stuff and doing what I could do what I best so I could talk to you guys and hopefully I could do. I'm sorry, I'm just shaking. It's because I'm just excited and all that stuff and it is what it is.
Thank you for your testimony, Mark. Should we vote in favor of the Greyhound lease?
Sure, why not?
All right. Thank you so much.
Adios, amigo.
Adios. Kristen will be next, followed by Aaron Feinberg.
Yes, hello, Mayor Gallego and members of the Phoenix City Council. Can you hear me?
We can.
My name is Kristen Gubser, and I am the Associate Vice President of Workforce Strategies and External Affairs at Gateway Community College. As you know, Gateway's main campus stretches from 38th Street east to 40th Street and north to Van Buren and is located directly north of the Greyhound Racing site. For many years, the college has partnered with the Greyhound racetrack tenants, including the Park and Swap. Park and Swap brings a significant increase in pedestrian activity to the area and has been a community staple. Regional mapping and market analysis work conducted by the Discovery Triangle Development Corporation around the year 2010 identified long-term strategic initiatives focused on promoting the assets of the 25 square miles encompassing parts of Phoenix, Tempe, and Papago Park. One of the outcomes of this work was the need to address the food desert that exists in this 25 square mile footprint, of which Gateway Community College is the center. The response to this need was Fresh Express, which prior to the pandemic was part of the fabric of the college community. The pandemic has changed a lot of things, but one thing that it didn't change is the goal the Discovery Triangle set forth to promote the assets and celebrate the history and diversity of this area by enhancing its economic, environmental, intellectual, and cultural vitality. Toward this goal that is still relevant 12 years later, Gateway has the desire to see more activation on and near the racetrack site. The college's short-term desires include more green space, shade, and walkability between the two sites, benefiting students and community members who spend their mornings and evenings in the area. Additionally, and also to the benefit of both students and the community, is more dining options. The park and ride also brings more commuters who may spend more time in the area if there were more gathering spaces and food choices. Long-term, Gateway plans to continue to expand our footprint in the community along with our workforce development training programs. We're forecasting opportunities in manufacturing, transportation, and logistics, healthcare, and other industries that will require access to technology, equipment, and space. We look forward to a continued partnership with the city to further the economic opportunities for students, residents, professionals, and visitors to make Phoenix a great place to live, work, and play. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being great partners for us. And I think this lease will give us a little bit of flexibility to move towards that vision. Our final speaker on this item will be Aaron.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Mayor, members of City Council, my name is Aaron Feinberg, and I have the privilege to serve as the General Manager of the Phoenix Park and Swap. I'm here today in support of the lease extension. I'd like to thank Director Reynolds and her staff for the dedication and effort working with us on the lease and extending this opportunity for our small businesses. We are proud to be operating in the City of Phoenix and in Councilmember Garcia's district. Over 500 minority-owned small businesses have called 3801 East Washington Street their central home for the past 60 years, creating an economic engine that was only stopped for 2 months, March and April 2020, by COVID-19. The Park and Swap business today employs 60 associates, many who have over 20 years of service, and unfortunately all but 3 were furloughed during our closure. We've worked tirelessly to build the business back up since last May. It has always been our goal to give these small businesses and our associates a guaranteed home and a job where they can continue to operate and earn a living. The Phoenix Park and Swap not only creates significant impact and revenue for District 8, the entire city of Phoenix, it also provides positive economic impact to Maricopa County, the state of Arizona, and has been an extremely popular seasonal destination. Over the term of our new lease, we are excited to continue to work with the city to activate the site for other multi-purpose uses. We are also working with our sublet vendors and internally to offer additional healthy food options and commit to making the exterior of the premises more aesthetically pleasing for the street, specifically ensuring all landscaping is well manicured. In closing, we are committed to the City of Phoenix. We've enjoyed our partnership with the Aviation Department over the last 14 years. We feel that the partnership is mutually beneficial and that an extension of the land lease for a period of 5 years is the right move for our business today, and it still protects and creates the environment for the airport and city to make plans for a future inside a realistic time frame of conversion. Thank you for your consideration. Happy to answer any questions anyone has, and I yield my time.
Thank you. I'm excited that the new lease may allow us to do more activation on Washington and further the goals of the airport master plan and having an active Washington. Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Had a couple of questions from Aaron, for Aaron. Aaron, so this 5-year lease is going to allow you to make some investments. Can you speak a little bit to two things? One, you spoke about folks coming back after the pandemic. One of the greatest things of me going out there was to see all the PPE and how the businesses had actually, moved to address the needs of the community. So you could speak a little bit more about that and how you've seen folks respond to the pandemic, but also some of the improvements that you're thinking about making to the facility.
Sure, Mayor, Councilmember Garcia, thank you for the question. In order to have a sustainable return on our investment on the expenditures we have to tackle in our capital improvement process, and to simply keep the leased premises in acceptable condition, that was really the sticking point for us on 5 years. So we talked about asphalt repair, more beautification along Washington, the healthy food options. There's quite a bit of upkeep and additional costs that we're going to bore to continue to make the facility better. Our bathrooms need repair, some roofs need to be repaired, but ultimately, we know that the return on investment is there for us for this term. With regarding the PPE, that's a great point. Our vendors, we were closed for 2 months. During that time, our vendors spooled up their operations. I would probably go as far to say that if you needed PPE in the city of Phoenix, we had a lot of it, maybe the most of it. Hand sanitizer, masks, face shields, you name it. All of our vendors are playing by the COVID-19 protocols that we have in place. And in addition, they are making this PPE available to our customer base. This past week, we had over 26,000 people come through our gates through our 3 days of operating. So it just goes to show you that we are back, we are still a thing, and we are really looking forward to the future.
Thank you, Aaron, for that. And thank you, Mayor. I think just want to also point out, I agree with you, and I hope, with Gateway and the other partners, looking forward to how we can support on Washington and, continue to have growth in the area. You did a lot of work before we came into office, and we hope to continue that work. So thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Gateway, and thank you, staff, for coming together with this agreement.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Pastor.
Thank you. I'm actually excited that this item got pulled so I can speak about it. So what I have to say is that I'm glad that we're discussing the value of this area known as the Greyhound Park as a destination that bears a rich history. As a native of Arizona and a Phoenician, I have fond memories of this area and amenities. From experiencing the area with my family working at the park and caring for the dogs, to having family gatherings. It was a destination in its heyday. Today, I enjoy this destination to show the cultural aspect of our city. All major cities have an area for flea markets, swap meets, and street markets. So I agree with you, Mayor, that recognizing the park as a cultural destination in Phoenix is necessary and needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Guardado.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
We next move to 3 items that we will take jointly. They are all related to aviation and grants, items 37, 38, and 39. Councilwoman Pastor?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, obviously you bundled it, 37 to 39 for discussion. What my concern is about giving the airport a blank approval to apply for grants without council oversight, a practice that no other city department is entitled to. So while I support staff in seeking resources to support airport activities, I want to be sure that the council remains informed of such funding opportunities. Therefore, I motion to approve items 37 through 39 as presented, with the addition that staff is required to notify city council members with a notification email a minimum of 7 days prior to submitting a grant request. So I just want information.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
We next move to item 44, which is the telecommunications license agreement. Do we have Vice Mayor?
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do have one member of the public, two members of the public to address the council. We'll begin with Shayna and then go to Charlena.
Mayor, it appears that Shayna is not on the line.
Thank you. We'll begin with Charlena.
Yes, hello, my name is Charlena Topolsky. I'm a citizen of Phoenix, and I am also recently a member of Arizonans for Safe Technology. So the reason I wanted to come on today is just to speak of some of the problems with the towers and what I'm assuming are the 5G that they would like to put up. There's three major concerns that that are problems for Phoenix, which number one, public safety, and there's a proven harm to health. At least 20,000 published studies show that the effects of the microwave radiation that can come off of the towers have serious harm to our public, as well as property values. I know this is a highway system we're talking about in this one, but just so that you guys are aware, there is a 20% decrease in property values when these towers do go up. And so, and then I'm concerned about the privacy issues with the towers, and the 5G technology can be used for everything from taking X-ray pictures to harvesting data from people. My main concern with it is that the Phoenix residents don't have any way of shielding themselves and their own personal privacy and their own right to public health and safety from the towers. It's on, and once they are up, we don't have a recourse or a way to go back. I believe we need to look more into all of these issues. I'm really urging you guys to slow down on this and to say no now until you look more into it. We are not against technology in any way. Arizonans for Safe Technology. Just we would like to see these done safely, and there's lots of solutions. There's ways to limit the power so that they're less damaging. So I'm just asking you to take the time to look more into this, please. And yeah, I would urge you now to not go ahead with this until we look more into the risks.
Thank you. Any council member comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
We next move to the planning and zoning portion of our agenda. Our first two items, 64 and 65, are related, so we will take them together. I will open a public hearing. The applicant is the only registered speaker and is available for questions. Does anyone have questions? I will close the public hearing. These items are in Councilmember Garcia's district. Councilmember.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Second.
And adopt
Mayor-
the related ordinance.
That too.
So Councilmember Garcia, your motion was to approve per the Planning Commission's approval and adopt the related resolution?
Yes,
Or
that's what I
related
meant to say.
Related ordinance. All right. Roll call on item 64.
DeCiccio,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
We move to item 65, which is as corrected, a text amendment application related to this. Councilmember Garcia.
Move to approve.
Mayor,
And
members of council,
adopt
this
the
would also
related
be,
ordinance.
yes, the approve per the planning commission recommendation and adopt the related ordinance.
Yes.
Second.
So, okay, motion to approve per the planning commission's approval and adopt the related ordinance.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Nowakowski,
Yes.
Pastor,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
We move to our final agendized item of today's meeting, which is at the northwest corner of 31st Avenue and Pinnacle Vista Drive. We'll begin with a staff report from our Planning and Development Director, Alan Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This a request is a rezoning request that is the northeast corner of 31st Avenue and Pinnacle Vista Drive. The PowerPoint is coming up here. So we will go to this presentation, item 66 here real quick. Let me fast forward a couple. There we go. You see that the area shown in blue is the subject of the rezoning request to go from S1 to R18. The subject site is adjacent to Interstate 17 freeway, north of the Happy Valley Road interchange at the Pinnacle Vista Drive alignment. Here's a blow-up of the proposed area to be rezoned. You can see I-17 and then traditional suburban residential kind of southwest of it, and then some larger lot residential in the immediate areas, both north and south of it. There is more traditional suburban lot residential to the north in this area as well. The general plan does designate this area as 2 to 5 dwelling units per acre for future development purposes. The applicant has a proposed site plan that they have brought forward and made revisions to address some of the community concerns about access to 31st Avenue and traffic. And so this revised site plan goes down from 61 lots to 57 lots and also takes all the access off of 31st Drive and has access off of Interstate 17 as well as Pinnacle Vista Drive. And the majority of traffic in this instance would head down south. The I-17 frontage road down to Happy Valley Road would be the quickest way to get out to the interstate and throughout the rest of the city in this particular instance. Staff does recommend approval subject to 17 stipulations. The Deer Valley Village Planning Committee recommended approval by a vote of 11 to 2. The Planning Commission recommended approval per the Deer Valley Village by a vote of 7 to 0. Staff does recommend approval per the Planning Commission recommendation and adoption of the related ordinance. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for our planning director? Hearing none, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. We will have 2 5-minute presentations, beginning with the applicant represented by Thomas Galvin, and then a community presentation by Cheryl Collin. Each will have 5 minutes. If Mr. Galvin chooses to reserve some time at the end, he can reply to anything in the second presentation. Mr. Galvin, the floor is yours.
Mayor Gallego, members of the council, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. Mayor Gallego, I'm Thomas Galvin with Rose Law Group on behalf of the applicant. We are pleased to present this application to you today due to the fact that you will see in this presentation a significantly changed and improved site plan as a direct result of interacting directly with members of the community. I believe that we have a presentation that staff is in control of. If they can pull it up there, terrific. And if ever need the slide to move, I will say next slide, please. So I'll say that now. Next slide, please. There you go. This site is currently vacant. It's 15 acres. Next slide, please. What is interesting about this site is on the eastern edge, as you can see, it is bounded by the I-17 Black Canyon Highway, and most importantly, it's bounded by this APS transmission corridor. What that does is present several challenges to the site, and we have proposed a site plan that we think incorporates that and also would be a good transition from the highway to the rest of the community in this area of Phoenix. Next slide, please. After considerable neighborhood outreach, we have received support letters. As you can see, they are outlined by the folks here who live in the yellow stars. And in fact, we have one more support letter from a neighbor who lives also with that yellow star directly to the north of our property, Mr. Dan Enna, along with Mr. Doyle. And we think it is significant that we have support letters from 2 neighbors living directly adjacent to the north, and then 1 neighbor living directly adjacent at the southwest corner. Next slide, please. As you can see here, there's a mix of zoning approved over the years. Directly adjacent to our site, directly to the south, is C2 zoning for a commercial project, which is slated to be a storage facility. Directly to the south there is R118 has already been approved. To the southwest is a significant site zoned R18. And if you go back, look to the north, there's also significant housing at R16. Yes, there is S1 in the other areas, but in our experience here in the city of Phoenix, these zoning of S1 have been placeholders due to the mix and to the growth of the city of Phoenix that has occurred over the last 20 years. Next slide, please. I'll quickly go over this slide just to show you that R18 was approved in 1997. R16 to the north was approved in 1997 as well. And the R118 were approved in 2002 and 2008. Next slide, please. We do comply with the city's general plan. We are proposing at 3.8. We were proposing at 3.8 dwelling units per acre. Next slide, please. This is the original site plan that we presented to the community that has been changed significantly in certain areas. But as you can see here, the original proposal was to allow residents to have access from North 31st Avenue. To the south, you would see direct access from West Pinnacle Vista Drive was also closer to 31st Avenue, which presented some concerns and questions from members of the community. The lots here were 45 feet wide, and there were 61 proposed lots. Next slide, please. After meeting with neighbors in October of 2020, we came back, and I want you to direct your attention to the north side of this property. We added a 33-foot wide open space buffer due to a federal easement issue that was brought to our attention by the city of Phoenix, which we'll get to later. The 2 neighbors agreed that they didn't want to have to build a road all the way from 31st Avenue to the frontage road by the highway. So we proposed that just on our side, we would have a significant 33-foot open space buffer, which the neighbors approved of and like, and we like as well, and we think it's really good for this project. On the western side, you will see that we added a 10-foot wide horse trail. Next slide, please. This is a direct result of folks worried about or wishing to decrease density and the lot sizes and the access of 31st Avenue. And if we go to the next slide, please, you will see what we have here is a reconfigured site plan that we're quite proud of. Now the access comes directly from the frontage road, as Mr. Stevenson explained in his very good presentation. There's no access anymore from 31st Avenue, which really pleased the neighborhood residents. And the access from Pinnacle Vista Drive from the south is now on the eastern edge of our parcel. It's not on the western side. And so that also provided a lot more comfort to our neighbors. Once again, we still have that 33-foot open space buffer, and we have that 10-foot equestrian trail. Some other things I want to get to while I wrap up this presentation is that all of the northern lots will be restricted to 1 story. All of the lots to the west will be restricted to 1 story. We're adding text to the CC&Rs so future homeowners will acknowledge the surrounding rural lifestyle. The CC&Rs will prohibit weekend short-term rentals. We're going to work to be in compliance with the dark. And next slide, please. I know I'm out of time. I just want to say that the VPC also asked a removal of stipulation number 9. This was in direct relation to that federal easement and the 33-foot wide open space buffer. So we asked that the City Council also in conjunction with the Planning Commission's recommendation, which was unanimous, to remove stipulation number 9. Thank you very much, Mayor Gallego and members of the council. We reserve our time and we're happy for any questions if you have them.
Thank you so much. I don't think you had any time to reserve, but we will give equal time to Cheryl. And Cheryl, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi there. Just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I live at 3031 West Oberlin, just 1 street north of the project. And today I'm speaking on behalf of ones that can't be here because of the time of day, or ones that don't know how to do the Zoom. But our complaint is the number of houses that they're wanting to build back here in this neighborhood in such a small area, when there's so much land all around us that can be built on, and they can build as many houses as they want. Don't get me wrong, we want this developed, but we want it developed with fewer homes, so we have less rentals, less crime. There's like 3 accesses to get into that property, and of course it's a frontage road and Pinnacle Vista. And a concern of mine is also down Oberlin Way, is a street that I live on, is also going to be used to access to the access road to get into that development as well. I know they went down from 61 houses to 57, but if you look in the surrounded other subdivisions that are built, their houses are built at 3 houses or less per acre, not 4 or more. Taylor Morrison is building a big project in the west of us, which is all S1 farming from the access road all the way back west to the mountain. And they're building 43 homes that are 2 houses per acre. So this is really the only development that's going 4 houses per acre. And I speak for a lot of us that I got a petition signed that, as much as we want to keep it S1 farming, we thought maybe we'll change the zoning and do 2 houses per acre. And like I said, we want to work with the builder. And as I talk to people, we'd be willing to go 3 houses tops per acre just to get it developed, getting it to look nice. And I think with that, a lot of us would agree to it and be happy with that, to have that 3 houses per acre, not 4. I think still it'll cut down a lot more on the traffic. 45 houses still seems like a lot, but we're willing to work with the builder. I know that the builder, they said that they worked with neighbors in the surrounding area, but really they've only worked with about 4 of the neighbors. 3 or 4 of the neighbors, when you have at least a mile radius that this development will affect.
Can I call you back maybe in about half an hour?
We already have problems. We already have problems with traffic and the kids that ride the horses, and we just don't want to have to deal with that. When the Funk brothers were trying to put they're wanting to build there. We had a petition go around that we had 280 people sign the petition to leave it S1 farming. And that speaks a lot for who, what we want. We bought back in here as a rural community, and that's what the feel that we want to keep back here is rural. So my main concerns is overcrowding, traffic, rentals, turning into government homes, or like halfway houses. We don't want that here. We don't want, lower income, small houses. We want not huge houses because, it's hard to buy where the houses are located if they're too expensive. I completely understand that. I just feel that a lot of us would agree to the 3 houses per acre if they're willing to just keep it at that. And that's all I really have to say.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. I will go ahead and close the public hearing and turn to, this item is in Council District 1. I will turn to our Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I know that this area has been S1 for decades, and it's very difficult to recognize that the growth is really moving north, the I-17. But I think this will be a quality project. And so I'm going to make the motion to approve Z5320 per the Planning Commission's recommendation and adopt the related ordinance with a new stipulation 18 that reads, the development shall be in general conformance with the site plan date stamped December 15th, 2020, with specific regard to no vehicular access on 31st Avenue as approved by the Planning and Development Committee and Department, pardon me. This pushes the traffic to 17 and keeps it off at 31st Drive. Thank you, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any council comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Guardado.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
That is our final agendized item today. For our staff, is anyone online for public comment today?
Mayor, we do not have anyone online for public comment.
With that, we are adjourned. Thank you for joining us.